So in the great state of New York, especially at a New York City event, apparently Kamala Harris's words are coming back to haunt her. And dare I say it, I think, you know what, folks? I owe an apology. That's right. And see, the thing is, for a long time in the show, I've been very critical of a lot of activists and organizers and protesters. And, you know, all I care about is consistency and people actually following through with their words. Now, I understand that this election cycle is very intense for a lot of people, and especially for the vote blue, no matter who people, they are very triggered by Donald Trump. I get it. I understand it. I understand why people are triggered by Trump. I get it. I get it. I get it. But, and the key word is but, the Democrats haven't really shown what they're really going to do, and Kamala Harris's campaign has yet to update her policy page. She hasn't put much up in there. So pro-Palestinian protesters stormed and even smoke bombed a New York Democratic Harris event for 2024. It was an event in Harlem. And so this is very huge because liberals, I understand right now you are still delusional and many of you are still in a honeymoon phase, but I think we are at the end of the honeymoon phase for Kamala. And if this is any indication of how people, especially protesters, the pro-Palestinian protesters, are viewing the Democrats, I really have to wonder how the DNC convention will play out. So let's go ahead and pull up this video here from Hotspot, because my goodness, the people, the protesters, were ready to boot up, suit up, and throw down. So I want to pull up this video here. Shout out to the protesters, because you guys are showing heart and actually challenging the Democratic Party and not falling in line. Because the last thing you want to do is be subservient to a political party that gives you nothing burgers.
How dare you!
Somewhere out there, you could hear Kamala saying, "Excuse me, I am speaking. Excuse me, I am speaking. Excuse me, I am speaking." See, these words were gonna. I knew it. I knew that eventually Kamala Harris, her own actions were going to come back to haunt her, as they should indeed. And I, for one, am seeing all of this, and it's good. It's good that the Democrats realize that they're not going to get votes, and people are seeing this. The crisis in Gaza is still ongoing, and Kamala has yet to give any kind of strong policy. But Kit, if you want Trump to win, keep talking. We're going to continue on just a few more minutes of this because here comes the smoke bomb right there. All right. I played that video in its full entirety because I wanted you guys to see just how active and engaged those protesters were. I want to pull up this article here. It's in the New York Post, where, again, you're going to be seeing this video being played in silence. But disorganized New York Democrat rally to endorse Harris infiltrated by anti-Israeli protesters who clashed with cops at after party. So this was an after party glow. This was a fun time. And yes, I'm taking that from the live stream chat because sometimes you beautiful people need to be acknowledged. So live stream audience, I love all of you. But did all of you feel the joy, the so wonderful time of Kamala? So let's go ahead and pull up this article here. Again, folks, this was a hastily organized rally supporting Vice President Kamala Harris descended into chaos after anti-Israeli protesters infiltrated the Big Apple event, which is beautiful, by the way, and later barged into an after-party venue, causing several $1,000s worth of damage to its outdoor space. Well, geez, Democrats, you're going to do such a posh, fancy after party while people are starving in Gaza. Hell, while Americans are starving. What is Kamala Harris's policies, by the way? Hold on, folks. Before we continue on with the rest of the article, let's play a game. Here's her campaign website. Let's go ahead and refresh it. A nice, cool refresh. It's still asking for money. I might be blind. I might not see it, but I don't see policy. Kamala. How many days has it been now, Kamala? How many days has it been, Tim? Do you guys got a policy? Or is it just you two and just asking for money? Again, pulling us up here. Oh my God. Oh, God. Coach. What is this? A Team Harris Waltz patch combo? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Retro Kamala Harris t-shirt? Oh, yeah, great. That's wonderful. Kamala, we're broke. Here's a retro t-shirt for $32. What is this? What is this? Next thing you know, we're going to start selling Kamala Harris pantyhose or Kamala Harris thong. I don't know. God damn it. Anyways, several demonstrators against Israel's military campaign in Gaza were booted from the Democratic gathering in Harlem, where Mayor Eric Adams gave an impassioned speech. Make sure you vote. His chanted as the disruptors were dragged from the tiny venue in Upper Manhattan. Adams stood with other prominent elected state Democrats, including City Council Speaker Adriana Adams, who is not related to the mayor, Governor Kathy Hochul, as he endorsed the party's presidential ticket. Oh, wow. Didn't they have a fantastic party? Look at all these people. Everyone on this stage right now comes from a different political spectrum. We don't always agree on the same thing, he said, but the ability to know when you are in a real fight, this is the real fight. While protesters were escorted out of the main rally, which sources said wasn't attended by Harris or her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the demonstration took an ugly turn in front of a restaurant where up to 25 attendees stopped afterward. So there you go. The angry mob of around 50 protesters even stormed into the restaurant, the bird in hand. Oh, a bird in hand at Broadway. Sounds like a good name. And West 146th Street as stunned patrons looked on, according to footage from the scene. Other videos showed cops taking rabble-rousers into custody as the crowd circled the police. Whistles and horns sounded, and smoke bombs were also set off during the brouhaha. One protester appeared to try to swipe at cops with a cardboard sign, leading several officers to grab the demonstrator and arrest her on the sidewalk. More footage showed. So there we go. Highlights. Democrats, listen, it's quite clear that your heavy-handed tactics and your lack of policy isn't really impressing the pro-Palestinian protesters. But dare I say it, folks, there's no economic policy. There's no social policy. Kamala Harris has no policy. Do you understand? She has no policy. Well, hold on. I even found this very interesting segment here. Give it up for BSDNC. Here's Joy Reid. Joy. What do you got to say?
Early Saturday, an Israeli airstrike hit a school serving as a shelter in Gaza, killing at least 100 people and wounding nearly 50 others, according to Palestinian health authorities. On the same day as the strike, Vice President Kamala Harris condemned the loss of civilian life.
Yet again, there are far too many civilians who've been killed. I mean, Israel has a right to go after the terrorists that are Hamas. But as I have said many, many times, they also have I believe, an important responsibility to avoid civilian casualties.
Uncommitted and anti-war voters see a reset with Harris on Israel and Gaza. Her language is different, capable of moving the needle and gaining favor with some of the voters who rejected President Biden over his stance on the region. But language is not enough. This was a...
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait a minute, BSDNC. You guys have been going to bat for Kamala very hard. You've been going for her for such a long time. It is starting to get ridiculous. And again, have to pull this up here. Here's her campaign website. No policy. Where's the policy? What's going on here? Where's the policy? I don't see anything except for store, donate, privacy. Where's the money? Like, again, it's all about the money. That's what the Kamala Harris is asking. Where's the money? Give us money. Kamala, can you stop can you stop the crisis in Gaza? Can you do that? Are you capable of doing that? Here, let's continue on just a little bit more. Again, shout out to Case Study QB.
Are demanding a ceasefire despite being targeted for removal from office by staunch supporters of the Netanyahu government and the ongoing bombardment of Gaza. The world is on edge right now, and rightly so. The U.S. is sending more troops to the Middle East to bolster defenses as Israel braces for an attack by Iran. So far, Vice President Harris has shown herself to be better positioned than President Biden to bring the party together on this issue. But we have to remember, Harris is still the vice president serving in the Biden administration. So her policy, should it differ from Biden's, isn't anything that she can implement now. Though it's absolutely fair for people to ask, why are we giving bombs to Israel? And would she keep that policy in place as president? These questions will surely be visible during the Democratic National Convention next week. And how the party answers could impact the election, not to mention the lives of so many Palestinians who have suffered for much too long. For God's sake, this needs to end.
Oh, for God's sakes, it needs to end. Great. Then let's go to Kamala. Let's refresh this campaign page again. I see no goddamn policy. You talk about, oh my, for God's sakes, it must end. Goodness gracious, it must end. When will it end? It's not going to end. They're not going to stop it. There will be no end to this. There will be no halt to this. And just so you guys know, as much as I would like to hope that there's going to be some kind of conclusion, the end to the madness. Here, let's refresh it again one more time, just to be a little stinker. No, still nothing. I see nothing. No policy. Nothing on stopping the war in Gaza. Nothing stopping the war in Ukraine. By the way, did you know that apparently there's an arrest warrant that's been issued for a person that might have kind of sort of maybe issued an order for the Nord Stream pipeline to go kablooey? Here's a shock. It ain't for Putin. You would think he'd be the first one, but no, nothing. So what does this tell you? And you have corporate media saying, for God's sakes, this must stop. Oh, shame. Jesus, corporate media. If you actually did your job and decided, I don't know, look into the death toll, the starvation, the disease, the madness, the insanity, the horror that's happening in Gaza, maybe, I don't know, you could put more pressure on these politicians, but you can't do that, corporate media, because then you'd lose access to these politicians, including Kamala Harris, who you're hyping up and building up. BSDNC, CNN. The honeymoon phase for Kamala and Tim is over. And if this is any indication of how the DNC convention will play out, Chicago is going to be a hell of a city. It'll be an up and down kind of roller coaster. So stay tuned to Hard Lens Media. But to the pro-Palestinian protesters, I owe you an apology. I hope you guys remain consistent. And to the uncommitted voters, be uncommitted. Because it's abundantly clear after looking at this campaign website to me, you're not in her thoughts. You're not in her prayers. There is no policy. And even if they put one up here, even if they do you really think they're going to follow through? The answer is the most definite no. They're not going to stop it.